Greetings, YouTube. You might have heard the news by now that the United States of America has assassinated an Iranian general, one of their top generals, a man that was apparently beloved by the Iranian people. And that's exactly what we did. We targeted an individual while he was in another country for the purpose of assassinating him. Now, before you think that I'm saying this because Twitler was involved, I bitched about drone attacks when Bush was in office. I've bitched about all of the ones I knew about while Obama was in office. And I personally think that Obama is a war criminal for the number of people he murdered with drones. Not just suspected terrorists, but all the collateral damage that he did, where he just killed innocent people because he didn't like those suspected terrorists. Now, you may say Soleimani was a known terrorist. Okay. You see, terrorism is a criminal act. And you don't just murder someone for a criminal act. You arrest them, you try them, and if they're found guilty, you incarcerate them. That's how people who live by the rule of law function. You just don't point a drone at them and blow their ass up. What would we do in the United States of America if one of our four-star generals was in Canada and Iran killed them with a drone? I imagine the warships would already be firing and the planes be firing on Iran by now. And the only reason that the Iranians aren't attacking us directly is because they can't. And they never will be able to. But what they will be able to do is kill a whole lot of Americans, both civilians and soldiers, in retaliation for this assassination. And the person in charge of our armed forces isn't smart enough to understand what he's done. Now let's back up for a second and realize that all of the shit currently going down between the United States and Iran was started because Twitler got us out of a nuclear arms deal. What that was working. And once he got out and started reimposing sanctions, everything started falling apart. So this is a mess that he's created. And now I believe the last thing I heard him say was that he had a list of 52 targets, both military and cultural, that the United States was going to hit if Iran does anything. I believe his reasoning was because at one time there were 52 hostages in Iran 40-something years ago. Does this guy always live in the past? I should retract that. Of course he always lives in the past. He's a white nationalist. They don't have any futures. They only live in the past. So the United States has done an immoral thing. We assassinated somebody. And now Americans are going to die because of it. And then Twitler will use that as justification for the next round of assassinations and killings of innocent people. That's not how functioning governments operate. You just don't murder people you don't like. You use diplomacy. You use non-military actions. You use legal proceedings. You don't just murder people, whether it's Bush or Obama or Twitler. Murder is never the option. It's never the thing you want to be going to. But for people like Twitler, killing brown people, that's just something you do before breakfast.